Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So a few weeks ago I did a live stream across on my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, where I was reviewing the TV programme Queenie. And then I did a recorded video, but it was just too long and it was too complicated. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to do a part 1 and part 2 where I'm literally just looking at specific themes. So the program is based on a book. I didn't know there was a book, but everyone's talking about the book. There's book clubs at the minute that I'm reviewing it. And it's about a young woman, she's 25 years old, a young black woman, navigating various things. So some of the themes I'm going to talk about will fall into that. But it's just really relatable. It's really interesting. It's a bit dark at times. It's a bit real. It's a bit raw, but you know, that's part of life. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to it. I know that on Facebook, some of the discussions that have been held at the minute, lots of people are talking about it and just how it's impacted on them. So I'm just going to talk about, in this part 1, I'm going to talk about 4 different themes that have come up, especially as a counsellor and a coach. Some of these themes are really related to counselling topics. And then I'll do a second part where I'll talk about another 3 or 4 themes. So the first thing is around relationships, but as well, significantly, she is navigating being in an interracial relationship, and then she's navigating, once that relationship ends, how she processes it and the aftermath of that. So some of the key points from that is that because she's in this interracial relationship and she doesn't feel that he is fully, she doesn't feel ashamed of being with a white guy that she's dating. But I think when she's around his family, what comes out is that they have subtle racist comments that they're making, especially the grandma, and she doesn't know how to handle this. So in her head she's saying certain things, but then it comes out and she says something really harsh, which is when the grandmother is talking about, your kids are going to come out half caste. She says, well, you're not going to be alive to see them. And when she says it, she realizes she said the wrong thing. What leads to that after that is that her boyfriend then says to her, you're too much, you're too loud, we need to split up. So he says, go on a break, but I think what it is it's the end, really. So from that point, she not only internalizes what he said, you're too much, you're too this, but then she just goes on this rampage of self-sabotage. And this is what a lot of people are probably going to relate to, because when you've been hurt after you've been dumped from a relationship, it's just, a way of forgetting, or you feel in so much pain. So what she does though is she goes on this thing where she is going on dating sites, hooking up with people. She's even saying it when she's doing it, I'm not really interested in this person. All the people in her phone, that people who have fancied her or have had some hints towards wanting to be with her, she's just calling them up. She's sleeping with lots of people. She's getting involved with someone who is quite could be considered as abusive, turns up drunk, is really rough, in the bedroom, leaves bruises all over and that sort of thing. So she's just going down this just going downhill, really. So it shows this, how this keeps escalating and escalating. And then one of the things that happened last night when I was watching it was that it all came to a head, which I'll talk about that in a moment as well. But it's just this thing where you are dating lots of people because you don't value yourself, and because you're just getting into these casual interactions because of sex, and you just want to feel better because someone has broken up with you. It just leaves you not feeling fulfilled, but also the aftermath is what happens, which I'll talk about soon. So there's loads of things in there. Everyone can probably relate to some of the similar things. I mean, even the fact she's hooking up with her work colleague, she's hooking up with someone who she doesn't really have any romantic interest in, but he's available and he's just there all the time. She's hooking up with people who normally she probably wouldn't look at, but it's just because she's in pain from the breakup. And another thing that comes up, another big theme, is microaggressions at work, linking that with being a black woman at work, and then you're working for an organisation where I think she's the only black member of staff there, but she wants to talk about, issues relating to black issues. Now, this is something I definitely could relate to because I was talking about it recently when I was at university studying for my counselling course. But even when I was studying to be a counsellor, I remember someone said to me, you're always talking about black issues. This was 20 odd years ago. You're going to be walking around with a sign, she said, with black power on it. Now, I thought that was a compliment, But as in, like, I took that as a compliment because, yeah, you know, I'm a black woman, I do talk about black issues, but she meant it in a very, like, aggressive way. No one in the class, like the teacher or no one, said to her that was unacceptable. Same as when I've been on my courses where people are just saying, why are you always talking about black issues? I don't think I talk about black issues all of the time, but as a black woman, then obviously why am I not going to talk about black issues? So Queenie was facing this thing where she's in the media, so she obviously wants to write stories that are related to black issues, but every time she's coming forward with things, her boss is saying no, think of something else, or telling her that's not good enough. So she's then internalizing that to mean that she's not a good writer and that she's not good enough. So there was lots of things there that came up for her, and I'll go into that a bit later as well. The key thing then as well, what came up in the first few sessions, was about abandonment issues. So everything, I like the way that the program links lots of different things, but you see little pieces and snips of it, and the jigsaw puzzle starts to come together more and more as you watch each episode. So it shows clips and flashbacks to her mum abandoning her, leaving her and saying, I'll be back soon, but not returning. And then we know she goes to live with her grandma. It shows, like, it keeps going backwards and showing you that her mum had Queenie when she was quite young, and there was lots of disapproval of her getting pregnant at a young age. Then the father wasn't around, and then she's got involved with someone, and there's domestic violence. You see scenes where he's saying, you know, to Queenie, he's labelling her as like being a troublesome child, or, you know, I'm the one that has allowed you to come here with your child. So she always was feeling not wanted and not valued. And the mum was always saying, if you're good, then he won't shout. So you're seeing a blueprint that is being made by saying, you know, you're not wanted as much, you're not valued as much. You know, you have to be this particular type of child. So there's lots of things there. And I think that then plays out in adult relationships, because if you're not feeling safe, secure, loved, valued, appreciated when you are very young, and it starts from, they say, like Bowlby says, from the age between 0 to 5, if your experiences are really negative, it says they will carry you through to adult life. So if there's no one around significant in your life telling you that you're worthy, telling you that you are the priority, then how are you going to feel that? And it sort of carries on into your adult life. So what I want to talk about in the next video that I do is some of the significant events that happened which led to Queenie having a mental breakdown, but also that, you know, also talking about a few more issues that came up. So that I'll leave it with those for the moment, and in part 2 I will continue to talk about some of the things. I'll definitely recommend the TV program. I don't know about the book, I've not read the book. I don't know about other people. I'm someone that if I read the book, then I just want to read the book and not watch the film or the program. Or if I watch the film or program, I don't want to read the book, because I think it's kind of like the two things are completely different. People are saying that the book is completely different to the TV program. So I think it's up to you. So I'm just going to do part 2 now, where I'm going to go into more depth. I hope you found this review of the program Queenie, which comes on Channel 4 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, helpful. Thanks for watching.